Hello and good morning. It just past 8 this Thursday morning and we're back again with all the news and breakfast news. I am Nancy Kohli and over the next 1 hour we'll get you news from across the nation, sports, business and updates also from across the world as well. But first a look at the top stories we're tracking at the top of it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a public rally in Nashik on the conclusion of the Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis's Mahajanadesh Yatra. Also set the agenda for Maharashtra elections. Union Cabinet approves the ordinance to ban production, import, distribution and the sale of electronic cigarettes. Also gives nod to 78-day reward bonus to more than 11 lakh railway employees. India slams Pakistan for denying overflight clearance for the VVIP special flight for second time in 2 weeks. The External Affairs Ministry says Pakistan must reflect upon its decision to deviate from the well-established international practice and reconsider its old habit of misrepresenting the reasons for taking the unilateral action. Union Home Minister and BJP National President Amit Shah kicks off poll campaign in Jharkhand, slams the Congress for putting roadblocks when the Prime Minister takes bold decisions for securing India's integrity and security. Asks the Congress party to clarify its stand on Article 370. 4 new judges appointed to the Supreme Court. The top court strength now reaches its highest ever of 34. The Indian Met Department warns of extremely heavy rain in Mumbai and adjoining areas today. All the schools and junior colleges in Mumbai, Thane and the Konkan region of Maharashtra to remain closed. In international news, the US President Donald Trump orders more sanctions on Iran after the Saudi offered proof of Iran's role in the oil attack. The US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo meets the Saudi Crown Prince, calls the attacks on Saudi Arabia an act of war and seeks coalition to counter Iran. In sports news, in the second T20 match at Mohali, India beat South Africa by 7 wickets to take a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. Captain Kohli hits brilliant 72 runs to steer India to victory. And Vinesh Phogat becomes the first Indian wrestler to qualify for 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Wins bronze in 53 kg category at the World Championships in Kazakhstan. Our top story, the Bharatiya Janata Party has sounded the poll bugle in Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing a public meeting in Nashik in Maharashtra today, which will conclude the BJP's Mahajanadesh Yatra.
The BJP is getting into election mode for the assembly polls in Maharashtra, expected by the end of this year. In a major boost to the party, a number of leaders from the opposition parties have joined the BJP. Ahead of the polls, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis launched the Mahajanadesh Yatra and travelled across the state to highlight the achievements of his government over the past 5 years. The mega roadshow will conclude in Nashik on Thursday with Prime Minister Narendra Modi present on the occasion. Elaborate arrangements have been made for the mega event, which is expected to be attended by about 1.5 lakh people. Maharashtra Chief Minister will take out a roadshow ahead of the public meeting on Thursday.
ऐसे मैं उत्तर महाराष्ट्र ही कहूँगा क्योंकि स्वागत के लिए पूरा तैयार है। आपने देखा तपोवन जहाँ पर 20-25 एकड़ में हम लोगों ने पूरे टेंट लगाए क्योंकि बारिश का कोई भरोसा नहीं आजकल। कल भी रात को बारिश थी, अभी भी बारिश है, अनुमान भी बारिश का है, इसलिए पूरी तैयारी मतलब करीब 1.25 लाख लोग बैठेंगे ऐसा टेंट हमने लगाया है वहाँ पर।
During the month-long Mahajanadesh Yatra, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis covered 4,000 kilometers and highlighted the initiatives of his government. The Yatra covered parts of Vidarbha, northern Maharashtra and Marathwada. It kicked off from the Mojri village in Amravati in Vidarbha, a place where Rashtrasant Tukdoji Maharaj resided, and will culminate in Nashik, the venue of Simhastha Kumbh. The two vehicles used by party President Amit Shah in Uttar Pradesh and former MP Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan have been made available for the yatra. Shishir Shelar's report, DD News, Nashik.
And our correspondent Shishir Shelar is now joining us from Nashik this morning. Shishir, good morning. Just take us through the preparations, the arrangements that you are seeing around you of Prime Minister Modi going to be addressing a public meeting, and also the very important conclusion of the Mahajanadesh Yatra today.
Well, absolutely. Good morning, Nancy. And as you rightly heard the report here that BJP has taken a lead in Maharashtra basically when it comes to election campaigning here. Well, of course, it's not just about preparing also, but at the same time, many leaders from the other parties are coming to BJP. And at the same time, now BJP try to go to the people, try to reach to the masses. And that's the reason the Mahajanadesh Yatra they have started a month back will culminate today. Of course, through this Mahajanadesh Yatra, Chief Minister tried to reach to the people and tell them that how the government have carried out various schemes, welfare schemes for the people of the state here, and that's the reason these are very important decisions taken by the government, and that's the reason this yatra is quite important, and that's the reason Chief Minister along with the entire party cadre in Maharashtra have already swung into action, have worked tirelessly for this Mahajanadesh Yatra which will culminate today. Of course, Prime Minister will be coming here in Nashik where I'm standing right now. This is the Nashik's Tapovan area where the arrangements have been done here. I would like to tell the camera person to show the arrangements behind me where this entire rally will take place here at around in the afternoon around 12 to 1 o'clock in between. Obviously, what we've been got to know from the party cadre is that nearly 1.5 lakh people are expected to attend this rally here, and that's the reason ample arrangements have been done here. The proper sitting arrangements here. Obviously, the Nashik have received intermittent rainfall since yesterday, but today the skies are clear here, and that's the reason even for that special arrangements have been done for the people who want to come here. A special pandal has been built here. Obviously, as far as yatra is concerned, we all know that how important Rath Yatra is for the BJP, and obviously keeping the same thing in mind, Maharashtra Chief Minister have started this yatra a month back now. Obviously, different districts he has gone through, various issues he have taken up, and right now, looking at the entire BJP at this point in time, obviously the other parties also on yatras here right now. The BJP seems to have taken a lead here. It's been almost a month, and they've got a massive response through this Mahajanadesh Yatra wherever they have gone to, and obviously that's the reason the BJP wants to end this yatra on a good note, on a high note, and that's the reason Prime Minister will be here, will be addressing this Mahajanadesh Yatra. Yes, Nancy.
Okay. All right, Shishir, thanks for those inputs. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you in our subsequent bulletins, and as and when Prime Minister Modi reaches there and addresses the public meeting, marking the conclusion of the Mahajanadesh Yatra in Nashik today. Thanks very much. Moving on now, the situation continues to remain normal in Jammu and Kashmir. On Wednesday, 15 development projects were inaugurated and the foundation stone for 20 more were laid. The Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the situation is normal in the Union territory and the restrictions continue in only 8 to 9 police station limits. Meanwhile, Pakistan continues to be isolated on the issue of cross-border terror.
Normalcy prevails in Jammu and Kashmir. Nearly 1.5 months after abrogation of special status to Jammu Kashmir under Article 370 and 35A. Traffic plied on roads and shops and government offices remained open as people went on with their daily lives freely. The centre too has reiterated that normalcy continues to prevail in the state. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said after a cabinet meet on Wednesday that National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah has been free for nearly 35 days of the government's historic August 5th declaration, and only after that was he arrested. He said that only 8 to 9 police station areas have restrictions upon them.
Government affidavit has categorically stated कि 9 या 10 पुलिस स्टेशन में केवल 144 है, रिस्ट्रिक्शंस है, बाकी जगह फ्री मूवमेंट है और बाकी सब काम चल रहा है. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, फारूक अब्दुल्ला को परसों ये कानून के तहत गिरफ्तार किया है, या आपका कहना सही है? इसका मतलब पिछले 35 दिन वो गिरफ्तार नहीं थे.
The government is now fully focused on developmental work in the state. Energy Minister R.K. Singh was in Srinagar on Wednesday, and 3 agreements on energy between the centre and the state were signed. 15 projects were inaugurated, while foundation stones were laid for another 20.
लड़ाई के बजाय जम्मू कश्मीर की तरक्की के आधार पर उसको हम ले सकते हैं. अगर हम जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को इज्जत दे सकें, अपने सर पे बिठा के दिखा सकें, पूरे देश में उनको सबसे बेहतरीन और शानदार नागरिक बना के दिखा सकें, यहाँ के बच्चों के भविष्य की रक्षा कर सकें, यहाँ कारोबार ला सकें, यहाँ खुशहाली ला सकें और यहाँ इतनी बिजली ला सकें कि हमारी चमक पीओके में दिखे, तो मैं गारंटी करता हूं साल भर में पीओके में उपद्रव हो जाएगा और आपको बिना लड़ाई के पीओके मिलेंगे। पीओके का एक एक आदमी ये कहने लगेगा कि हमको उस तरफ जाना है।
Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, we will give 24/7 supply. That is our ambition, and we will achieve that ambition, whether it is winter or whether it is summer or whenever. Beginning the winter which is coming, let us prepare for that, and we promise you, and will stand true to our promise that your coming winter, the power situation will be better than it was last time.
This winter is going to be very, very special for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and the reason is better power supply. And in this regard, government has made all possible efforts. Today in Srinagar, Governor Satyapal Malik and Power Minister R.K. Singh inaugurated 15 projects and laid foundation stone for 20 projects. With this, the vision of Prime Minister for 24/7 power supply to every house would be a reality.
Meanwhile, the CPWD has been entrusted with the added responsibility of completing infrastructure work costing 5,000 crore rupees. Earlier to the agency was already looking after work amounting to a similar amount of expenditure before abrogation of 370. As a major thrust to generate employment, the Jammu Kashmir Light Infantry has launched a massive recruitment drive to fill 2,780 vacancies on the 3rd and the 4th of October.
2780 vacancies have been released for recruitment into JACLI. ARO Jammu, ARO Srinagar and JACLI Regimental Center would be conducting rallies to select the recruits for these many vacancies.
Meanwhile, international support for the Indian government's decision on 370 over Jammu Kashmir continues to pour in. Member of the European Parliament, Ryszard Czarnecki, on Wednesday said the European Parliament should support India on the issue of terrorism, adding that those who perpetrated terror attacks in Kashmir did not come from the moon.
Kashmir is one of the most beautiful areas of India, and with security and stability could be so enormously prosperous. But for over 70 years it has had an unsettled status and has been under threat, afflicted by externally sponsored terrorism and extremism, and at last there is an opportunity to rectify this situation.
He also said that Pakistan's threat to use nuclear weapons is a cause of concern for the EU as well. He slammed Pakistan as a country that violates human rights and one where terrorists train for deadly attacks in Europe. With Vishal Baristo in Srinagar, DD India.
And our correspondent Vishal Baristo now joins us with more updates from Srinagar. Vishal, good morning. So development works there, of course, continue across J&K, and it's a major power push for Jammu and Kashmir, and normalcy continues to prevail across Jammu and Kashmir. Just give us a sense of how people are reacting to the development works that are continuing across J&K.
Well, absolutely a very good morning to you, Nancy. Indeed, development is the key word for the government here, and also for the J&K administration, and also for the Ladakh administration. And let me tell you that this winter is going to be very, very special for Jammu and Kashmir, especially because the government has promised that it will give a 24 hours power supply, and that would be a historic thing and a national record, because winters have been very tough for the people of especially Kashmir because of the snowfall. There are hindrances in the power supply, but yesterday the Union Power Minister made a promise to the people of Kashmir that they would have 100% power supply both in Srinagar and also in Jammu during the winters. Let me tell you that the 15 projects that were inaugurated yesterday includes the heritage lighting of the Dal Lake. Remember, Dal is the heritage lake and also the popular tourist destination across the world. And apart from that, underground cabling of Sonmarg and Gulbarg. Now those are also two important tourist destinations. And also there are plans for underground cabling of the route of Amarnath Yatra for unhindered power supply. Apart from this, Kashmir has also, Jammu and Kashmir, I beg your pardon, has also achieved the national record and also the first prize in 100% household electrification. Now this is something very, very huge, because under the Prime Minister Development Project and the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Jyoti Yojana, these things have been achieved. So the government is very much focusing on development. And when it comes to development, power is the key factor, because with electricity reaching to remote areas of the state, we can expect development process to go many folds. So this is the situation here. The situation is fast turning normal. I can see vehicular traffic every day on the roads, plying on the roads, cars on the roads, and at some junctions there are road jams as well. As far as the shops are in question, they open at a specific timing. Early morning they open till 9 o'clock, and then in the evening, because of still some threats by the anti-national elements, and the security forces are in know-how of the situation, and they are always monitoring the situation, and that is why the section 144 is still imposed in some police stations. But by and large it is normal, peaceful, and a very quiet place to enjoy here. I've been here for almost 20 days and not a single bullet has been fired by the security forces. Nancy?
All right, Vishal, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those inputs. Thanks very much. Moving on now, the Union Cabinet has approved a 78-day bonus for the railway employees. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that 11.5 lakh employees will benefit from the decision and that the government is rewarding productivity. The Cabinet also approved an ordinance to ban production, import, distribution and the sale of electronic cigarettes. The decision to prohibit e-cigarettes will help protect the population, especially the youth and the children of the country, from the risk of addiction through e-cigarettes.
In a big bonanza for employees of the Indian Railways ahead of the festive season, the Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved a bonus equivalent to 78 days' wages for them. The productivity-linked bonus will benefit over 11,52,000 railway employees. This is for the 6th consecutive year that productivity-linked bonus is being given to railway employees.
इस साल भी उनको 78 दिन का वेतन बोनस के रूप में मिलेगा। ये 11 लाख रेलवे एम्प्लॉइज को यानी उनके फैमिलीज को भी इसका फायदा होगा। इसके लिए 2024 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा होगा और बड़ी बात यह है कि लगातार 6 साल किसी सरकार ने लगातार 78 दिन का बोनस दिया है।
In another major decision concerning the health of youth, the Union Cabinet approved an ordinance for banning production, import, distribution and sale of electronic cigarettes. The ordinance also proposes a jail term for those violating the provisions.
It means production, manufacturing, import, export, transport or sale or even distribution and storage and advertisement relating e-cigarettes are all banned. The Cabinet therefore has taken this clear decision about banning e-cigarettes in all these 9 forms, and therefore this decision is taken keeping in mind the impact that e-cigarettes is having on the youth of today.
As per the ordinance, which will come into effect after the assent of the President, first-time violators will face a jail term of up to 1 year and a fine of 1 lakh rupees. For subsequent violations, a jail term of up to 3 years or a fine of 5 lakh rupees or both has been proposed. Storage of electronic cigarettes will also be punishable with an imprisonment of up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. The owners of existing stocks of e-cigarettes on the date of commencement of the ordinance will have to automato declare and deposit these stocks with the nearest police station.
The punishment proposed is imprisonment up to 1 year and or fine of 1 lakh for the first offence, and a 3-year and or fine of 5 lakh for the subsequent offence. It has been made a cognizable offence except storage, which is non-cognizable.
The decision to ban e-cigarettes comes on the back of an advisory issued by the government in 2018 to all states to consider banning e-cigarettes. 16 states and 1 union territory have already banned these cigarettes in their jurisdictions. The Indian Council of Medical Research, in a recent white paper on the subject, also recommended a complete ban on e-cigarettes based on currently available scientific evidence. The WHO has also urged member countries to take appropriate steps, including prohibiting these products. With inputs from Sudhakar Das, Bureau Report, DD News.
In response to a query regarding denial of overflight clearance for a VVIP special flight by Pakistan, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ramesh Kumar said that India regrets the decision of the government of Pakistan to deny the overflight clearance for the VVIP special flight for a second time in 2 weeks, which is otherwise granted routinely by any normal country. He also said that Pakistan should reflect upon its decision to deviate from the well-established international practice, as well as reconsider its old habit of misrepresenting the reasons for taking unilateral action. Moving on now, several places in Mumbai and surrounding areas are experiencing heavy rains. Several areas have become waterlogged and the night traffic snarls have also been witnessed. The Indian Met Department had earlier issued a rain red alert for next 6 days for Mumbai and Thane region. According to the Met Department, an upper air cyclonic circulation that is resulting in heavy rainfall over Madhya Pradesh has now moved towards Maharashtra and is likely to cause heavy to very heavy rains in the next 6 days. And let's now go across to our correspondent Shama, who is joining us on the phone line. Shama, so the Mumbai mayhem, once again, it's back in the limelight. It's struggling time really for the Mumbaikars, even today once again. And the rain red alert has been issued for the next 6 days. How are Mumbaikars coping with the situation? Also the fact that the city's lifeline, the suburban trains, have also been affected badly.
Well, we can say that Mumbaikars are really now frustrated with the rains, and they are hoping that rain should just go away now. Everyone was hoping that by the end of September or mid-September, rains will go away. But our entire Ganeshotsav was totally in deep rain, and we expected that to go away till Visarjan. But we are seeing that a red alert has been issued for Mumbai, Konkan and surrounding areas, and we are seeing, yesterday night we saw lightning and thunders and in all the areas surrounding Mumbai. So everyone was really fearing that any untoward incident would happen because of such bad lightning and thunders. But then later on, the rains had stopped in the night, and we are not seeing such bad waterlogging cases in Mumbai. But yes, we can say that Mumbai has been put on high alert, and because of that, a red alert has been issued from the Met Department. Now we are also seeing from the Met Department that they have said that starting from today till Sunday, there could be a rainfall which could be recorded that will be more than 250 mm, and we have to also emphasize here that the entire September has broken all records and recorded a total
All right, we seem to have lost Shama there on the phone line. We'll try and get back to her as soon as we can get the latest inputs from Mumbai, where of course heavy rains have battered the normal life there and a red alert has been issued. Okay, moving on now, with the BJP National President Amit Shah launching the Johar Jan Ashirwad Yatra from Jamtara in Jharkhand, the BJP has kick-started its poll campaign for the upcoming assembly elections in Haryana, Jharkhand and Maharashtra. Addressing a public meeting at the Kali Mandir grounds in Jamtara, Amit Shah said that the Modi government has taken a historic decision with regards to Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. He also challenged Congress leader Rahul Gandhi to clarify his party's stand on Article 370. Amit Shah appealed to the voters to vote for the BJP and give the Raghubar Das government another opportunity to serve the people of the state. He added that the BJP government in Jharkhand has transformed the state by putting it on the development track. During the Johar Jan Ashirwad Yatra, the Chief Minister Raghubar Das will cover a distance of 581 kilometers in 7 days. 4 new judges have been appointed to the Supreme Court, taking its strength to 34. That's the highest ever. Justices Krishna Murari, S.R. Bhatt, V. Ramasubramanian and Hrishikesh Roy were appointed as the judges to the top court. The Supreme Court Collegium had recommended their names to the government last month. With a huge backlog of cases in the top court, the government had recently increased the strength of its judges from 31 to 34, including the Chief Justice of India. And an update from the national capital. While commuters may face hardships in the national capital today, as the transport bodies have given a one-day token strike call against various provisions of the amended Motor Vehicle Act, including steep hike in penalties for various traffic-related offences. In the wake of the strike, many of the schools will remain closed in Delhi today. The strike has been called by the United Front of Transport Associations, which represents 41 associations and unions of goods and passenger segments, including trucks, buses, autos and taxis in the Delhi NCR region. The bill that came into effect on the 1st of September made several changes to traffic fines, toughening the penalty for violations like not wearing a seatbelt or jumping red light and even drunk driving. However, many states have resisted the amended Motor Vehicles Act and refused to enforce the fines. And major international headlines now. Saudi Arabia has shown off what it says is the wreckage of drones and cruise missiles that proves Iranian involvement in the weekend attacks on 2 oil facilities. It said 18 drones and 7 cruise missiles were fired from a direction that ruled out Yemen as a source. Iran has though denied any involvement and warned it would retaliate against any attack that targeted it. Following the development, the US President Donald Trump said that there were many options short of war with Iran. The US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said after arriving in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday that it was an act of war. The United States further wants to build a coalition of European and Arab partners to deter Iran. Meanwhile, UN officials monitoring sanctions on Iran and Yemen will also visit Saudi Arabia to investigate. The Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that a major confrontation in the Gulf would have devastating consequences for the region and also globally. In another development, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani may cancel his trip to New York next week for the annual gathering of the world leaders at the UN if the US fails to issue visas for him and the Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. The United Nations chief has expressed hope that the issue will be resolved at the earliest. The European Parliament has formally called for Britain to be granted another extension to allow more time for London to agree the terms of its withdrawal should it request one. The resolution, which is non-binding but carries political weight, passed with 544 in favour, 126 against and 38 abstentions. This was on the condition and prolongation is justified and has a specific purpose, such as avoiding a no-deal departure, holding general elections or a referendum, revoking Article 50 or approving the withdrawal agreement. They add that an extension should not affect the work and the functioning of the European Union institutions. A suicide bomber and gunman wounded at least 9 people, including a child and a woman, in an attack on a government building in eastern Afghanistan yesterday. The attackers detonated explosives before gunmen poured into the building. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack. The office is a distribution center in the city of Jalalabad for national identity cards that people need to vote in Afghanistan's presidential elections in 10 days. Earlier, the Taliban warned teachers, students and other education workers to avoid the upcoming presidential vote or risk dying in attacks on election centers. Israel's second election in fewer than 6 months has ended in political deadlock as no clear winner has emerged from these elections. With 64% of votes counted, the Blue and White Party led by Benny Gantz appears to have won 33 of the 120 seats in the Knesset, which is one more than Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud won. The results indicate that both the men will struggle to form a majority coalition with smaller parties. Netanyahu, who became Israel's longest-serving prime minister in July, has been in the office for 3 consecutive terms since 2009. Yemen's Houthi group has said that it had identified dozens of sites in the United Arab Emirates as possible targets in an attempt to underscore its military clout following a weekend attack it claims to have carried out on Saudi oil facilities. In a televised speech, the military spokesperson for the Iran-aligned movement said that even one drone operation would cost the Emiratis regime dearly. He said the Houthis have new drones that can reach targets deep into Saudi Arabia. Now, reacting to it, Saudi said that the attack could not have come from Yemen, adding that the Houthi movement was covering up for Iran. Remember, the UAE is a leading partner in a Saudi-led coalition that intervened in Yemen in March 2015 to resolve Hadi's government after it was toppled by the Houthis in late 2014. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres wants the governments to make more ambitious pledges to cut emissions at the UN summit on 23rd September. The UN chief has convened the summit to boost the Paris Agreement ahead of the crucial implementation phase next year. The current pledges by the governments to cut emissions are nowhere near enough to meet the Paris target of keeping the rise in average global temperatures to well below 2 degrees Celsius, with the goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And in a flurry of tweets, the US President Donald Trump has confirmed that he will revoke California's authority to require automakers to build cleaner vehicles than federal requirements demand. Trump's action came on the same day the teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg was addressing the US Congress and urging the lawmakers to treat climate change as the existential crisis that it is. A fire at an Islamic school in Liberia has killed at least 27 children, while 2 survivors are being treated at the hospital. The blaze was caused by an electrical issue and the kids were studying when the fire broke out. Further investigations are ongoing. President George has extended prayers to the families of the children. In some more news from around the world, Category 3 Hurricane Humberto is expected to persist across the island of Bermuda today. Humberto picked up even more speed yesterday afternoon, moving at 20 miles per hour as its maximum sustained winds held steady at 120 miles per hour. It passed northwest and north of Bermuda later in the night. The officials have warned residents to stay off the roads and prepare for possible tornadoes. Flights have also been cancelled from Bermuda's main airport. The Atlantic storm season has picked up pace in the recent weeks. Remember, the Bahamas is still reeling from the devastation of the Hurricane Dorian, and the remnants of tropical depression Imelda have moved inland across the Gulf Coast of Texas and southeastern Louisiana as it weakened, bringing warnings of flash floods and heavy rains. And moving on now to sports news, skipper Virat Kohli led India to a resounding 7-wicket win over South Africa in the second T20 with an unbeaten 72-run knock as the hosts took a 1-0 lead in the short 3-match series on Wednesday. Take a look.
Now one boundary away, India. Is that it? Is it hard? That's it.
India beat South Africa by 7 wickets in the second T20 international in Mohali on Wednesday. Skipper Virat Kohli led from the front with an unbeaten 72 to take his side home with 6 balls to spare. Opener Shikhar Dhawan too made a significant contribution and shared a 61-run stand with the skipper, who scored his 22nd T20 50. His 52-ball knock comprised 4 boundaries and 3 sixes. Earlier, Kohli won the toss and elected to field first. Batting first, South Africa got off to a flyer with Quinton de Kock and Reza Hendricks finding the gaps at will. While Hendricks fell in the 3rd over, de Kock slammed his 3rd international 50. However, it was the Indian captain who turned the game on its head with a sensational catch to get rid of his counterpart. South Africa lost the way from that point as the runs dried up. With wickets slowing down slightly, Indian bowlers used their skill to great effect as 11 runs came up in the span of 15 to 19 overs. South Africa were ultimately restricted to 149 for 5 wickets in 20 overs.
Again, the slow one's done it.
Sports Desk, DD News.
And in more sports news, the Indian wrestler Vinesh Fogart won the bronze medal after she registered an emphatic 4-1 victory over Greece's Maria. Earlier, Vinesh became the first Indian wrestler to seal her spot at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics as she cruised to a dominating 8-2 win over reigning Olympic silver medalist Sarah to seal an Olympic quota and advance to the bronze medal playoff. In boxing, Asian Games gold medalist Amit Pangal entered the quarters of the IBA Men's World Championships in 52 kg category in Russia. The second-seeded Pangal triumphed over Turkey's Batuhan Siddiqui 5-0 in a draining bout. With this win, Pangal remains on course for a maiden World Championship medal. Manish Kaushik also advanced to the quarterfinals of the World Boxing Championships after clinching comprehensive wins over fourth-seeded Mongolian Chinzoreg. Kaushik is making his debut at the showpiece event. Now, Paris Saint-Germain beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the match played on Wednesday in the UEFA Champions League. Angel Di Maria scored two sensational goals against his former club in 14th and 33rd minute. PSG's third goal came from extravagant Thomas Meunier in late minutes. Now, with this win, PSG reached at the top of Group A. And let's now move on to our next segment, the morning print, to get you a glimpse of what the national dailies are carrying this morning. We are beginning first with the news from the Statesman, and this is of course a strong observation that's come in from the Supreme Court. The top court fumes over manual scavenging deaths. Nowhere in the world people are sent to gas chambers to die, fumed the Supreme Court while expressing serious concern over deaths during manual scavenging and manhole cleaning across the country. In fact, it has also asked authorities for not providing protective gear like masks and oxygen cylinders to people engaged in manual scavenging and manhole cleaning. The apex court saying this is the most inhuman way to treat a human being. Very strong observations coming here. The top court also adding that although over 70 years have passed since India got independence, caste discrimination still persists and society is not treating all human beings equally despite the constitutional mandate. Okay, moving on now to this news from the Times of India, and this is talking about how at 17.5 million Indian diaspora remains the largest in the world, and Indian diaspora at 17.5 million continues to be the largest in the world, constituting 6.4% of the total world migrant population of 272 million in mid-2019. Now, while India's diaspora in absolute numbers has increased 10% from 15.9 million in 2015 as a share of the total world migrant population, it's remained largely static. That's according to the UN's international migrant stock that has been released, and it trails a 12% rise in the total migrant population. Moving on now to news from the Tribune, and news we also got to earlier, but here are those images, the winning images of Vinesh Phogat, of course, who's booked an Olympic berth. Indian wrestling had a lot to celebrate on Wednesday as Bhiwani girl Vinesh Phogat secured Tokyo Olympics qualification and won a bronze, while Hisar's Pooja Dhanda put herself one win away from her second medal at the World Championships in Nur Sultan in Kazakhstan. Also below you have those images, pugilist Pangal and Kaushik in the semis, while India have also been short of 2 medals at the World Men's Boxing Championships after Amit Pangal and Manish Kaushik entered the semis of the event with impressive victories in Russia on Wednesday. And towards the end, we're getting you a piece of opinion here from the Pioneer, and this is talking about how free the land to save the earth. This has of course been written by the Program Director for Policy and Outreach at the National Seed Association of India, and this is talking about how the fire of humanity, this is giving an example of the Amazon rainforest, how the fire of humanity's end has started to burn the Amazon rainforest. But what really needs to be done as far as this case is concerned, and this was also made clear at the recently concluded United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, the Conference of Parties held in India, and how India tops the chart clearly as the most climate affected country of the world. While this means that we may see temperatures hitting 55 degrees Celsius, agriculture production also failing, and water wars in the next decade. So what we must do, this piece of course highlights that, and it further in fact concludes that we need to embrace new science in the forest together to save our civilization from the negative effects of climate change. Reconnect with the earth and act now unitedly for the benefit of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that's global family, or else, as best articulated by James Baldwin, I quote, instead of ending the world with water, God will end it with fire next time. With that, it's a wrap on the morning print, but move on now to our next segment, the history of the day, taking a look back at the significance of this day in history.
On this day in 1936, Vishnu Narayan Bhatkande, musicologist who wrote the first modern treatise on Hindustani classical music, passed away in Mumbai. On this day in 1957, the United States conducted its first underground nuclear test, codenamed Rainier, in the Nevada desert. It was on this day in 1960 that the Indus River water sharing settlement was signed in Karachi between India and Pakistan. On this day in 2000, Karnam Malleshwari added a glorious chapter to Indian sports history at the Sydney International Convention Centre, becoming the first woman to gain an Olympic medal.
And a look now at the important events for today.
Mongolian President Khaltmagin Batulga to arrive on a 5-day state visit to India. This is the first state visit by a Mongolian president in the last 10 years. Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to fly in the indigenously built light combat aircraft Tejas in Bengaluru. Tejas is indigenously built state-of-the-art light combat aircraft developed by state-run Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to meet heads of public sector banks in New Delhi to access the credit flow scenario to the economy. Union Minister of External Affairs Dr. S. Jayashankar to embark on a 3-day official visit to Finland.
And moving on now to our health story of the day, and today we are of course talking about how iron helps the body carry oxygen in the blood and plays a key role in brain and muscle function. Too little iron can lead to iron deficiency, that's anemia. Take a look at this report to understand the iron deficiency systems and how to keep your child and yourself healthy.
Iron deficiency leads to anemia, but in children it can cause many neurological problems.
Iron is needed for a lot of chemicals and chemical reactions in the brain, and iron deficiency can lead to a lot of neurological problems in children. One problem, a very common problem in young children, is something called breath holding spell. Breath holding spells occur in young children from 6 months to 3 years of age. In this condition, the child starts crying because he's upset or angry because of any reason. It could be anything. Maybe he wants a toy that he's not able to get, or he's fallen from the bed and hurt himself. A child who starts crying because he's upset or angry. Then he starts holding his breath, he turns blue, and because of oxygen deficiency to the brain, he can lose his consciousness and start having jerking of limbs or stiffening of limbs. This can look like a seizure, and frequently this condition is misdiagnosed as epilepsy and treated with anti-epileptic drugs, whereas all that is needed is an iron supplementation. Another common manifestation of iron deficiency in children is restless leg syndrome or growing pains. This is seen in older children who are 3 to 5 years of age. These children have pain in the legs, especially in the evenings or in the night time, and they're not able to sleep because of this pain, and they keep asking their parents to press their legs. This is also because of iron deficiency.
Iron deficiency may lead to many complications and may present with different symptoms in the child.
Other manifestations of iron deficiency, which can occur even without anemia, include hyperactivity, poor school performance, irritability, temper tantrums, and in rare cases even stroke in children has been associated with iron deficiency. So it is important for parents to recognize these symptoms whenever a child has any hyperactivity, irritability, temper tantrums, breath holding spells or growing pains, to consult a doctor, because this could be a manifestation of iron deficiency, and this is easily treatable with iron supplementation.
Iron supplementation and proper management may help to overcome the complications and prevent any problem due to the deficiency. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
And our good news in the story of the day today, well, it's a battle like no other, and as always, Prime Minister Modi is leading from the front. The hazardous effects of plastic pollution have touched such levels that it may be impossible to stem the rampage, but everywhere in India, ordinary people are responding to the Prime Minister's call to initiate the battle against single-use plastic. In Meerut, women and the vegetable sellers are showing their way. Our correspondent Tumul Kakar's report from Meerut.
This is an ordinary vegetable market in Meerut. But instead of buying vegetables, some ladies are taking selfies with the people who are coming here to purchase vegetables. Let's know from these ladies, what's the reason behind this?
We just want to inspire the people, motivate the people, so that the usage of plastic should be stopped as early as possible. And these thalas which we are using, it's very simple to make. It's very, very simple. Just discarded jeans if you are having, easily you can stitch it and use it and promote it, and you should move on the footsteps of our Honorable Prime Minister. And it's a very positive approach to save the environment also.
Say no to plastic.
Taking a cue from Prime Minister's waste to wealth concept, these ladies are also making cloth bags from old clothes and jeans. Even vegetable sellers are becoming aware of the harmful effects of single-use plastic.
There is a big change now. People have started coming with cloth bags. Gradually, the use of polythene will come to an end. We tell our customers that we don't have polythene bag. We ask them to come with cloth bags. Earlier, they used to ask that.
Selfie with Stella, a cloth bag, is definitely going to raise awareness among people and also motivate them to start using the cloth bags. Tumul Kakkad's report, DD News, Meerut.
And a look now at the weather report across the country for today. And with that, it's a wrap on the Breakfast News this Thursday morning, but we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you then. But before we go today, we are leaving you with the visuals of the flower and fruit show exhibition organized by the Horticulture Department at Kalaburgi in Karnataka. There you have those visuals. Take a look at that, and we wish you a great day ahead. Thanks for being with us.